Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Bear, and I just want to take a moment to speak from the heart. Every time I step into a First Nations community, I go in there with one mission in mind, and that's to reach the unreachable. There are so many people in First Nations communities that don't want to open up. They don't want to talk about some of the trauma that's lodged in their lives, and as a result, they keep it hidden for such a long period of time until they explode in violence, or they release it through drugs and alcohol and other unfortunate life issues. I know myself, I had a tragic beginning. I was abused as a young child. As a young child, I grew up with violence all around me. I didn't know how to express my anger. I didn't know how to release my stress. And as a result, at the young age of 21 years of age, I ended up in prison, convicted of second-degree murder. Now, I didn't ever want to kill anybody, but I found myself involved with people because I didn't want to be all alone. I wanted to be associated with people. I wanted to look cool. I wanted to be accepted, respected, appreciated. I never got that at home. So I reached out to gangsters and people that lived the street life. It didn't get me anywhere, absolutely nowhere. And as a result, I ended up in a very toxic lifestyle for many, many years. After serving 15 years in the penitentiary, I got out. And when I got out, I made a decision to myself, I'm going to change absolutely everything. So I came to the point that I got my schooling at the First Nations University of Canada. I got a degree in First Nations social work, Indigenous social work. Very proud of that because I worked with elders in respect to all this. I worked hand in hand with elders like Danny Musqua, Campbell Papaquash, Fred Spyglass, Bill Ermine, Walter Linklater, so many elders that I worked close to in respect to the building and the strengthening of my tools as an Indigenous teacher and knowledge keeper and life liver. I had to change everything. I lived a hardened life, and now through the grace of all of these elders that worked into my life, I could make a better difference, a huge difference that might impact people somewhere. My impact reaches youth to a big extreme because they actually hear the stories and they know that there's hope, that we can open up those doors of hope and it's going to make a difference. I love to share my music. I am a professional Johnny Cash impersonator. I'm a professional Elvis Presley impersonator, and I share my music, which my company is called Indigenous Holistic Healing Services, healing through music. And I share more than just Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley. I share a lot of different music. Some of it is really strange because it's heavy rock or even rap. And to hear a man, I'm 64 years old, and to hear a man 64 do rap music, it's like, ooh, wow. And the kids look at that and they love it. And I've just recently, in the last few weeks, I've engaged with communities where I've had over 200 youth in my workshop. It's amazing. It's amazing. The children, they flock to my music. They flock, well, they have that opportunity. It opens doors of healing and joy and laughter. And it's just a wonderful opportunity. So I want to encourage everybody that listens to my voice today to understand that healing can take place in communities where there's drug addiction, where there's violence, where there's toxic living. It doesn't have to be like that. And we can find the right healing if you'll let me into your community to be able to share my workshops. There are some communities that have made a commitment to bring me at least 4 times, if not more, to their community every year. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm so grateful for that. There's some communities that have actually consistently brought me into their community. It's just amazing. And I want to be able to work hands on hands with the youth. I want to be able to connect with the elders. And I want to be able to connect with the community in large. And just to be able to to help them in their grief. The grief is the big thing. I do a lot of work with grief and loss, and I help a lot of people. I've worked with over 1 million people in respect to grief and loss alone. It's amazing, but my workshops have been around for over 20 years. And in those 20 years, I've reached out to, I would say without exaggeration, at least 250 communities across Canada. It's amazing. I have built a reputation and a rapport with them. And it's a wonderful thing. I go back there many times and we enjoy the workshops and they get advanced. Every year they're better, they're different, they're more advanced. It's not always the same. And by advancing them every year, people get more out of them. I give them a certificate at the end of the program, and that certificate has a lot of weight. And not only does it have a lot of weight, but sometimes they use that certificate for a betterment in jobs, or maybe a betterment in their schooling or their life living. It just helps their self-esteem and their self-worth. And then, if they're going through different situations, trying to get their children back or trying to fight within the court, I actually help them by giving them a letter of reference if they've taken my programming. And I give them a letter of reference that makes a big difference. I encourage you to bring my workshops to your community. Share my message. Share this video with as many as possible, because there are people that are not getting healing in their workshops. It's just workshops, just laughter, just this, just that. But it's not bringing healing. My workshops definitely bring healing. And so many people are so grateful for the work that I've done in their communities. So I want to thank you for, if you brought me into your community before and you're continuing to bring me in your community, thank you. Thank you very much. Share this message with as many as possible. On the bottom of this, you're going to see a forward button. Please forward. Forward this to as many as possible. And let's get the message out there so that people can heal and that we can actually bring hope and healing, not only to the youth, but to the elders and to absolutely everyone. Suicide doesn't need to be the answer. Anger and aggressiveness doesn't need to be the answer. We can learn how to love each other and be good to each other, and we can actually have healthy Indigenous lives. Hi. Kinalasko mitanan.